Good evening, everybody, boys and girls. I am Sonali, your host for today. It gives me an immense pleasure to extend your warm welcome on the behalf of RISC. You are here to witness the most brainstorming workshop of the year, TechFest 3.0. So, before we begin, let me acquaint you what is going to happen shortly. It is like yesterday, we are having two slots of 20 minutes each, and we have arranged one interaction with you in the between with our alumni.
Last time workshop था आज ही जोड़ा
Guys, please turn off your mic. Hello. Good evening, Wasim. Good evening, Naga. Okay, all are joining now. Please, guys, do join it. Do join it fast. Okay. Okay, so I was telling about the webinar. So this is divided into two slots of 20 minutes each. And we are having an interaction with our alumni in between. So are you guys excited for today's workshop? I'm not getting any response. Okay, that's good. Okay. So our first slot is about RDN. So have you heard the word Arduino anytime, anywhere? This term is new for CSC people. Anybody know anything about?
Guys, can you hear me? Okay, so do any of you know about Arduino? Yes, okay. Who is going to describe it to me using the chat box only? Right.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, it's okay, Sonali.
Sorry, I was disconnected. Yeah, there is actually a bad weather. Okay, so where we were discussing about our first slot. So our first slot is about Arduino. So nobody responded in the chat box. I think this word is very new for you. So let me put a simple question. Have you ever thought of making your own robot and control it in a way you want? Have you ever thought of this? Guys, there are 99 members. I think nobody thought of making their own robot control it in a way they want.
Okay. Yeah, that's the reason why I'm here to learn about. Yeah, it's okay. You all are going to learn a lot today, trust me. Okay, so I would like to welcome Tushar. Let's not wait anymore and begin this session on Arduino. Okay.
Sorry to interrupt Simran in middle. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, I actually asked Tushar to.
Okay.
I guess.
Okay.
Hello everyone,
Okay, Tushar.
how are you? I hope you all are fine and doing well at your end. Yeah, so let me tell you, today we will learn about many new things. Some might be learn about it just previous time, or some might learn new thing. So tell me, are you guys excited? Sonali, please confirm, is my screen visible?
Yes, Tushar. It's visible.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. So I am Tushar Jain from Robotics and Automation. Today, I will tell you about Arduinos and sensors. So it's TechFirst 3.0 day 3. So in day 3, we will learn about Arduino Uno and sensors. So it's time to unleash the beast. So before going to the topic, I will ask you a simple but basic question. So it will help you to know all about Arduino. So let's go with the simple question. Any one of you heard about this word, microprocessor and microcontroller? Yes, I see many years. So can anybody tell me in the chat box what is microprocessor and what is microcontroller? Are they same? Okay, guys. Yeah. So I will tell you what those people who don't know what is microprocessor and microcontroller. I will tell you a simple difference. A microcontroller is that which can do only one task at a time, but it can do it very efficiently. While a microprocessor can do many tasks simultaneously. So, what is the example of microcontroller? So, what is the example of microcontroller which can do only one task? Arduino. Yeah. And what is the example of microprocessor? It's our laptop. Basically, laptops have processors in it. So, it is a microprocessor. So, I have one question for you. Tell me, alarm clock is an example of alarm clock is an example of controller. Yeah. It's a microcontroller. Now, this is how Arduino looks like. It has a typical blue color, which has lots and lots of ports in it. You can see in this figure, I will tell you each and every component in detail. So before going to this, we will first know what is microcontroller. We all know what is microcontroller. So we will just study its basic concepts, which we need to be in a microcontroller. So it has an operating voltage of 5 volts. Its input voltage is 7 to 12 volts and output voltage is 6 to 20 volts. And what is 6 to 20 volts? Means it need minimum 6 volts power and a maximum 20 volts power. But this power will only be in DC. DC stands for direct current. It has digital pins, which are 14 in number. It has 6 analog pins. It has 40 milliampere DC current. Then it has a flash memory. Flash memory is just like your RAM. It has only 32 KB RAM. And this SRAM stands for static random access memory. Basically, it's your ROM. When you buy a phone, you must see it has a RAM as well as a ROM. So it has only ROM of 22 KB. You can say it's only 2 KB. It has a clock speed of 16 megahertz. I will tell you what is this clock speed. So, am I clear up to this? Am I clear up to this? Yeah. So this is our Arduino, and these are the basic components. You can see I have mentioned all the components, and we will study each component in detail, but just basic. So let's start. The first component is programming jack. A programming jack, you can see in the slide only, it is a silver color jack which helps us to compile the program from our laptop to the Arduino. So this programming jack is look like this. It is a B to A port. A port is just like your pen drive port, and B port you can see in this figure. So it has an input power jack of 7 to 12 volt DC. It's DC current. So you can see this black input power jack. We can provide an input voltage of 7 to 12 volts. It is just like your router's cable or router's jack or your set-top box jack. Then reverse protection diode. In Arduino, we have this reverse protection diode. And what this reverse protection diode do? Basically, if sometimes we connect with the wrong polarity. Polarity, I think everyone know what is polarity. Guys, only one, yeah. So polarity basically, when we connect positive to positive and negative to negative, so the current flow will be in the negative direction. So the reverse protection diode protects our circuit or our basically microcontroller when we connect with the wrong polarity. Then 5 volts regulator. 5 volt regulator is that which protect us our diode, and it regulates the voltage of 5 volts. As I have told you, it basically we can provide an input voltage of 7 to 12 volts. So, but our Arduino need only 5 volt to run. I repeat, it only need 5 volts to run. So basically this will convert this 7 to 12 volts into 5 volts, and it will supply to the Arduino. I hope this is clear. Yeah, I will share. Now move to next slide. Filtering capacitor. In Arduino, we have a filtering capacitor of 47 microfarads. And you guys are from CSC. I think you know what is capacitor. EC people know what is capacitor. Yeah, CSC people also know what is. Yeah. So basically, capacitor is that if there will be any spike in the current, it basically filters it. Then we have an op-amp. Op-amp stands for operational amplifier. In Arduino, we have operational amplifier. The thing which it can perform is it basically work as an comparator. Comparator means we connected our power supply through this USB jack and this input power both. So our Arduino has so many capabilities that it can take only one voltage between these two, this USB jack and this power jack. So it basically takes it will basically take the voltage between these two, and which will be fit for the Arduino. Then move to 3.3 watt regulator with filtering capacitor. In Arduino, we have 3.3 volt capacitor also. What is 3.3 volt regulator with capacitor? Basically, in Arduino, we provide voltage of 7 to 12 volts, but Arduino needs voltage of 5 volts. But we can also run Arduino on 3.3 volt also, and it has its capacitor also, which maintain its voltage. So then move to next slide. We have 16 megahertz crystal oscillator. What is this 16 megahertz crystal oscillator? Guys, what is 16 megahertz crystal oscillator? No idea. Okay. What about others? Yeah. Okay. So basically 16 megahertz crystal oscillator is that it provides the clock speed to your Arduino board. If we buy a laptop, it has a base clock speed of some 1.5 2.5 gigahertz, and it has a turbo speed of 4.2 gigahertz. But in Arduino we have 16 megahertz. I think it is clear now. Yeah, okay. Now move to next slide. In Arduino, we have reset and power indicator LED. So what is this reset and power indicator LED? So reset is this red color button. So when we click on this button, it will compile your program over and over again. And we have this LEDs, this one and this one. So when we connect power supply to it, it basically blinks up. So we got to know that our Arduino is power supplied. Yeah, okay. So next is, it is the heart of our Arduino. It's microcontroller IC Atmega 328. Kindly remember this name, Atmega 328P. Its IC is Atmega 328P. Everyone has his name. So we have Arduino, which has IC and which has its name as Atmega 328P. It is an 8-bit microcontroller. And what is 8-bit microcontroller? Anyone have any idea? What is 8-bit? What is 8-bit microcontroller? Okay. So 8-bit is, it basically provide values between 0 to 255. How can we get values 0 to 255? Basically, we have a simple formula. Two raised to power n. So when we provide the value of 8, it gives us output as 256. So we have values between 0 to 255. I hope this is clear. Yeah. Anyone has any doubt up to this? Now move to next slide. In Arduino, we have various power pins. Sometimes we don't have this power pin, input power pin. Then we can also connect power supply to it through the battery also. So we know battery is basically 12 volts we use for Arduino or such things. So we can just provide VIN in it and provide a ground in it. We can also provide voltage through 5 volts. If we have a regulated voltage of 5 volts, then we can also provide through this port. We can also provide 3.3 voltage to the Arduino. Basically, if we have regulated voltage, then we can use 3.3 volt and 5 volts. Otherwise, we basically use VIN. I hope this is clear. Yes. Okay. So now move to digital pins. So what is digital pins? Anyone has any idea what is digital pins? Yes. No idea. No. Okay. So by the end of this session, you will know what is digital pin. So basically, digital pin is that which give us output in zeros and ones only. So what is digital pin? It basically provides us output between zeros and ones. So I hope this is clear now. What is digital pins? Yeah. So some might be thinking why we are using digital pins and how many digital pins we have. So we have 14 digital pins in our Arduino, starts from 0 to 13, and we can use it as an input as well as output. I repeat, we can use digital pins as input as well as output. I hope it is clear. Yeah. So PWM, because it's just like a basic. So we will talk about this later. Then move to analog pins. So what is analog? What is analog? Similar to logic gate. No, Sakshi. Yeah. Ravinder Singh. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. It's basically, it has varying values. We can provide different values and we get different output. So as I have told you, in Arduino, we have the maximum voltage of 5 volts, which is in DC. So minimum voltage is 0. So how can we get this value 0 to 1023? So we know how can we find the value? How can we find the value of the bits? How can we find the values of the bits? I've told you, yeah. Okay. It's a simple formula, 2 raised to power n. So now we have, it's a 10-bit analog to digital converter. ADC stands for analog to digital converter. So it's a 10 bits. So 2 raised to power 10. So what is 2 raised to power 10? No, Nikhil. So basically Arduino, it has an analog input. So we use digital pins for input as well as output, but analog pins, we can only use use them as an input. We can only use analog pins as input. So if I choose a value of 2.5 volts, so what will be the value of my ADC? So, so guys, now I will show you a 3D model of Arduino. So you will get a clear idea about Arduino. Yeah, this is our Arduino looks like. This is how our Arduino looks like. So you can see it has an input port, input jack. Yeah, I told you what is the type of this jack? Tell me in chat box what is the type of this jack? It's B. It's B port. So you can see how the Arduino looks like. Yeah. So move to next slide. In Arduino, we have different flavors. Means we have different types of Arduino. Just like we have Arduino Mega, Arduino Lilypad, Arduino Mini, Arduino Nano. So tell me, which Arduino we have read? Which Arduino we have read, and we have studied its components. Yeah, it's Arduino Uno. Yeah. So I hope it is clear up to here. Anyone has any doubt? Okay. So move to next slide. Then robotics and industry means we can make different projects using Arduino. This is a smart car. This is hand caster robot. This is an army tank, smart army tank, we can say. Then it's a smart dustbin. It's a smart traffic light. So we can do a numerous of projects through Arduino. So it's all about theory of Arduino, what are its components and all. Now we will discuss about the people you are waiting for. Basically, especially for CSE people. Now it's time to code. So we use a software known as Arduino IDE. This is the link. I will send you. Yeah. So basically, we are using Arduino IDE. So why Arduino IDE? Yeah. Or we can say what are the different applications we can use in Arduino IDE, and why we are using Arduino IDE only. We have different softwares, but why we are using this? So basically, it is consists of C language, and we know C language is the simplest one. Then it is very simple and provide powerful applications. It has a serial monitor which provides serial data. We can compile, verify our code, and burning of code onto Arduino means we can just compile our program from just our laptop to the Arduino. Now we have different programming codes. The basic code you can see when you open Arduino IDE is void setup. The void setup is when you press reset button, then it will set up your function in the code. Void loop, it basically runs your program over and over again. Arduino has few reserved words, just like high means it has a high voltage of 5 volts, and low stands for 0 volts. I hope it is clear. Yeah. So we use high for 5 volts and low for 0 volts. We use input, pin is input. We use output when when we want pin is output. It is a conditional statement, just like you have in processing. Processing means just like you have in C language. It has function similar to C language. Then why Arduino? Because it is an open source, both in terms of software and hardware. It is cheap, about rupees 400, the cost of going out for a Burger King meal. It has USB connectivity because MacBook does not have serial ports. It is simple, it is attractive. These are the different projects. You can see on the slide. So guys, it is clear. So in the next slot, we will do some practical. So are you guys excited for the next slot? Hand over to you, Sonali.
Okay, Tushar, that was a very interesting session and you explained it so well in a such an interesting way. I hope that everyone have a clear idea now. Everybody is clear with the topic. Some idea you must be got. Okay. So now it's a time to interact with our alumni, Jitin sir. I'm so excited to introduce him. He's an alumni of RISC and part of a team which won Smart India Hackathon 2019 in hardware category, winner of AIU 2019.
Okay. How to mark attendance? You will get a attendance form, Anand, at the end of the workshop, or before it, I'll say. So, as you guys know, that he's the alumni of our family risk. So, I would like to invite him and let's have a great interaction with him. You guys are excited, right? Yeah. Guys, please be more interactive. Okay. So, Jitin sir, are you there?
Yeah, yes. Thanks for such
Okay.
a nice introduction.
Welcome, sir.
It's been great for me to interact with you all. Prox, I could see many number of participants being attending this session. I could see 122 participants, even the mode is online. So I basically wanted to share what is the overall perspective of being a member of RISC. I too attended some kind of workshops when I was in my first semester, and went on with all the activities that my seniors shared with us, and the same is being shared with my juniors as well. And this is something that we started when we were in our third semester, like first 1.0, and it is being continued. I'm happy for that. But the other point is, if you are in the RISC, that doesn't mean you will gain everything, or you will be one out who will be standing from your peers. Your mindset is completely responsible to make you successful. So you should be curious to learn whatever that has been said, and you should be curious to do. I think you might be clear with the motto of the organization, that is learn, implement, and share. So first part that you're doing right now is learning. So whenever you implement, you get you hold a firm grip on what the subject is all about, and then you will be in a position to share the knowledge with everybody. And this is how we function from past many years. And you might also know it is one of the oldest organization, and we all should be proud of it, because standing an organization with the tire with the highest tire for all such long years is not an easy task to go. So it's all important to stay how it's to stay how vigilant about we are working over here. We used to work overnights, and you might not heard all these stories because you're listening all these online. We used to work overnights in the labs, and we also participated in several competitions. And this is the base where we learned all these skills from. So today you're learning something on Arduino, yesterday you learned something on programming. All this doesn't matter, at least one part as well. But somehow you need to start somewhere. So by the time you learn C, if you know what C is, you will be same familiar with it, and you think this is nothing but something I knew already. And in the same way, when you start doing Arduino or something, everything seems familiar, and you never feel bad that I don't know something, and I may not do these things or the things that really basically the motto of these kind of workshops are to make you familiarize with all these kind of things. So now I would like to pose you a question, like how many of you are clear of today's Arduino session? Because I was listening to it from the starting. So I would like to take your feedback from it. How many of you are clear from today's Arduino session? Okay. Uh, there were a lot of new terms that are being introduced in today's session, and I know many of you are not aware of it. Can anybody say what is the difference between digital and analog? You can turn on your microphones and answer. That would be good. Yes, today's session is very good. It shared a lot of knowledge, but I was talking about how you need to think about the session. It would be good if somebody turn on their microphone and speak. Yeah, Sandeep Whitela, can you turn on your microphone and give me a small explanation on it? Just to interact. I'm not going to say anything on you. Yeah, Nitish. That
Can
is
I?
fine.
Can I, sir?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, analogs are the signals which are present in the nature, like our audio signals, speed signals, are all comes under analog signals, and the digital signals are the one which will be in the form of zeros and ones.
Yeah. So a speech signal is not a digital signal. Is it what you're trying to say?
Yeah, like speech signal is an analog signal.
Okay. Something I'm speaking now is being reached to you. Is it being transmitted analog or digitally?
It was analog in nature, but like filters are used like to reduce the noise.
Okay. But how is it being transmitted? Is it being transmitted analog or in digital form?
In analogous only.
Oh, okay. These are the things that you need to explore. See, there is a lot of information that is being shared in today's session. So thank you, Nitish. I would like to speak more. Mm. So you need to go between the lines, like what is analog, what is digital. So if you say like digital is in the form of it is only zeros and ones, then how can you represent a value 129 in digital? See, he is sharing that any bit, for suppose if it is an 8-bit number, you take a value of 2 power 8, and why only 2 power, why not something else? So these are something that you need to go through the lens. Only then you will be able to debug something when it goes wrong. So learning things is simple and easy if you look in my perception, but doing things is difficult, because learning is straightforward. It does not show you any failures in between, but doing things will show you a lot of failures. See, ask your senior Venkatesh. I'm seeing in from his first year, but he knows how to do a line following robot. But ask him ever he did it completely, and whether his line following robot moved on a floor accurately. Even I don't know to do it. But if you believe me, I even deliver sessions on line following robot. So saying things or learning things is quite easy than doing things. and that is where we need to outshine ourselves. So these workshops just facilitate you to learn things, or to know what exactly is going on. But it's upon you who has to take charge and learn all these things. And then if you are the member of this, then it's your sole responsibility to share all these things to all the rest of the members that comes to it. And this is how we grow the ecosystem and we share knowledge in Risk LP. And coming apart from this knowledge also, if you look how Risk LP works, we conduct a lot of events. As you might already seen the achievements of the Risk LP. We conduct a lot of events and we participate in a lot of them, and we win most of them as well. The main skills that you require to be an active member in conducting an event is like you should possess a team skill, you should possess a team membership skill. So where you will be sharing work from all other different people, and also you should have a leadership skill which helps you take which helps you to explore yourself more, because you know how much you never know how much you can command on others. It doesn't mean that you are taking it in wrong way. You never know how can you make things work until you exercise doing such kind of things. So you learn all of these kinds and being a member of Risk LP. And apart from this, you can make a lot of friends over here. I don't know how it's going to be or online, because you have all your friends online. You might also have Risk LP friends online. But if I'm sure like in a year or so you'll be reaching your university, and then you will see you will be provided with facilities such as lab that nobody else will provide you. And you will also enjoy the benefits of staying outside your hostels even after 12 or 2, and you will experience you will experience a different kind of lifestyle when you are a member of a Risk LP. That's all I would like to say. It's completely upon you how you take up the knowledge from that is being shared, and show it or give it to others. It's Workshops are just solely sharing purpose of the knowledge. Thank you. If you have any questions, you can
Thanks,
ask.
sir.
Oh, no need of, sir. I've seen you calling
Okay,
me
guys.
more than 2 or 3 times. I thought of telling you.
Okay. I have a question. That's sir. I don't know what to say. Sir is more suitable.
Sorry. Can you repeat it again? Hello. Can you repeat the question again?
Nothing, sir. Actually, she said that calling you sir is more suitable because you are senior. And not to mention, guys, he's placed in Synopsis and it's a really great company. Actually, he's a really respectable guest for us. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, right? Because I had seen the zeal you showed, right? Okay, so without waste, and again, thank you so much, sir. So without wasting much time, I would like to
Yeah,
invite
thanks.
Tushar because you guys are really excited for practicals. We know that. So Tushar, we shall begin with it.
Hello guys, are you waiting for doing practical? Are you guys excited? Tell me, how's your Josh? Yeah, so I have shared the link in the chat box. So open it and we can do our programming, our practical on Tinkercad. It is an open software where we can do simulation and all about Arduino and various components. So we will do experiment on LED light blinking. So everyone has know what is how LED blinks. Yeah, everyone use this blinking light on Diwali and all. So we will make this circuit and its code and as well as its simulation. So let's start. So first of all, you have to just click on the link which I have provided you in the chat box. Then you can open and sign up. So you can see this type of view is visible on your screen. Then click on circuit, then create new circuit. Then this type of interface will be open. So here you write whatever you want. I need Arduino Uno R3. Yeah, here click on that and drag it over here. Then I need a breadboard because it is virtual, so we need to make connections. So there is no wire available, so we use breadboard for making connections. Then I need to make a blinking light, so I need a LED. So click on LED and drag it. I hope you are doing by side. Guys, are you doing by side? Okay, I will repeat. So first of all, we have to just, when you open Tinkercad, click on circuits, then click on create new circuit. Then an interface like this will open. You can write, you need an Arduino, just write Arduino. You can see, click on this and then drag it. You can use your Google. Okay, if you are not able to do by side, you can just see me how I am doing, and if you will be having any doubt, we can discuss after this session. Then we need an LED bulb, basically an LED. Here LED, drag it. Then it is virtual, so we don't have wire, so we use breadboard. Just click and drag it. Then we need one resistor. Click and drag it. So we provide value as, we can provide any value. I provide as 220 ohms. So make the connections. We connect this to this resistor, then this with digital pin. So I've told you we can use digital pins as input as well as output. So I'm using it for output. So click on that. I connected it with 13. Then we can provide the voltage to this board. So click on V in. So V in. So we don't know what is the correct voltage. So better to use 5 watts. So we can provide a regulated voltage of 5 watts. Then we can provide ground. Then we can change its color red, and we know ground color is black. I hope everyone has, I hope it is clear for all. Yeah, so we can connect this resistor to this voltage source. So our circuit is complete. But when I will start simulation is just like providing power to the Arduino. So when I start simulation, you can see it will, I've just written the code. Okay. If I will delete this, you can see when I start simulation, it is just on. So we will make a code. So this LED will work like a blinking LED. So we use Arduino IDE, open. Then I have just written the code. So we need to, it's a void setup. I have told you what is void setup. Then we can provide pin mode. You can see it's an easy software. So if you are writing correct, then red color or something, sometimes blue color will appear. This will notify you that you are doing right. So I use an output of 13. You can see, and then I provide a void loop. Then we are taking a digital output. So we write digital write, and that is 13. What is high? Tell me in chat box, what is high? Guys, 5 watts. Yeah. Yes, when I on. Yeah. So basically, so when we write digital write, the 13 pin will goes to high, means our LED will turn on, and then we can delay for, I write 1000. 1000 is 1 second delay, because in this software we have time in nanoseconds. Then we have digital write. I provide digital write as low because we need a blinking LED. So first of all, it has to glow up, then glow down, glow up, glow down. This will continue. So I have written the code. I will click on verify. You can see here it is loading. Yeah. So if there will be any error, then it will display over here on this black window. So there is no error. So we can just copy code and click on blocks. We can write text also, block also, but we prefer to use text. So we write on text, continue. So I just pasted my code and start simulating. You can see my LED bulb will glow. Yeah, I think it is not visible. So I will change the time as 2 milliseconds, 2000 milliseconds, which is 2 seconds. So when I start simulating, you can see the bulb will glow and switch off. So this is your program for the LED light blinking. So now move to next part, sensors. So we know every human has senses. So a robot has Arduino, which is just like our heart or a brain. But in human body, we have different types of senses. So a robot also needs senses. So it can observe the things surround it. So first of all, we will talk about sensor known as ultrasonic sensor. So ultrasonic sensor, anyone has any idea what is ultrasonic sensor? Yeah. Tell me what is ultrasonic sensor? No. Okay. I will tell you. So as the name indicates, ultrasonic sensor measures the distance by using ultrasonic waves. The sensor emits as ultrasonic wave and receives the wave reflected back from the target. Ultrasonic sensor measures the distance to the target by measuring the time between the emission and the reception. I hope it is clear. Yeah, we can say radar, sonar, they will work just like ultrasonic sensor. Yes. So now move to next sensor. It's IR sensor. IR sensor stands for infrared sensor. It both emit and detect infrared radiations. Active IR sensor has two parts, a light emitting diode and a receiver. When an object comes closer to the sensor, the infrared light from the LED reflects off the object and is detected by the receiver. What is the most common example of IR sensor? Anyone know? What is the most common example of IR sensor? TV remote, alarm, paper, fire blaster. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the I think the most simple example is your motion detector. So when we go to some mall, you can see the gate of the mall will automatically open. So we use IR sensor in that place. Now move to temperature sensor. A temperature sensor is a device used to measure temperature, as its name suggests. This can be air temperature, liquid temperature, or the temperature of solid metals. There are different types of temperature sensors available, and each each of have different uses, and they have different principles to work upon. So basically, we have different types of temperature sensor. So our next and the last sensor, because I picked only some sensors because we have lots of number of sensors. So the last is photoresistor sensor. The photoresistor sensor or a photocell is a sensor that changes its resistance when the light shines on it. The resistance generates varies depending upon the light striking at its surface. A high intensity of light incident on the surface will cause a lower resistance, where a low intensity of light will cause high resistance. I I think it is not clear for all. It is clear or not? Tell me, what is photoresistor? It will be more clear. I will show you one of my experiment, then it will be more clear to you. This is one of my one of my experiment of temperature sensor. I use temperature sensor, and you can see I connected temperature sensor to an analog system as an input. I have told you, and we connected our LED through digital pins, then provide a resistance to it and provide a voltage source. So when I start simulating, so when I decrease the temperature, it's minus 40 degrees Celsius. So you can see red bulb will glow. So when I am going to increase the temperature, the green bulb will start glowing, while rest of the two bulb will turn off. So when I go on increasing temperature, then you can see yellow bulb will glow. So I think it is clear for all what is temperature sensor. How can we use a temperature sensor in different way? Yeah. Okay. So I will show you another experiment. Yeah. So this is our LDR photoresistor. So I have connected resistance to it, connected a LED bulb. You can see I connected the photoresistor sensor through an analog input. So we can provide an analog input and we got our answer or the desired outcome. So when I start simulating, you can see when there will be dark, this is the dark or the low intensity of light. It is your bright intensity of light. So when there will be dark, the light bulb will glow. You can see yellow bulb is glowing. And when there will be more intensity of light, then you can see the bulb will start dimming. Yeah. And at high intensity, it will switch off. So that's how our smart bulb will make. We can make a smart bulb through it, through this photoresistor. I hope it is clear. Anyone has any doubt? Okay. Last one, that one in LDR sensor, in photoregister, when we start simulating, just like I simulate, so when there will low intensity, means when there will darkness, the light bulb will glow automatically. And when we are increasing the intensity, the light bulb will shut down. So I hope it is clear. Okay, over to you, Sonali.
Okay, that was a really interesting session, right, guys? I really enjoyed it. It was really informative. Guys, you are not very interactive today. What happened? You didn't enjoy? Am I audible? You enjoyed? Well, you weren't very active today. Only few people. Okay, if you enjoyed, I again want you to type an emoji. Do not use thumbs up and a smiley. Great, 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 great. Robots, yeah, right. Okay, so the time really few, I guess. Okay, okay. So to all those people who didn't fill the form, attendance form, please do fill it. Okay. And yeah, time flies so fast. Certificates will only be provided to those people who have a minimum attendance of 4 days, right? And to remind you, please be more interactive, more consistent, because you know this is a recruitment drive-through workshop. And if you want, guys, if you want to be a part of our family, you guys need to be creative in the chat box as well. I mean, related to the topic only. Okay, and talking about day 3, tomorrow is a very exciting day because we are going to be discussing about robotics. I guess everyone is into robotics, right? I don't think there's a single person who doesn't like robots. Only 2 replies, only 2 people are interested? Yeah, right. Okay, tell me one thing. You see, there are a lot of controversies going on, like is AI or robot a threat for humankind? What do you guys think? Are they a threat to us? No, no. Well, if you get inspired from the movie Ravan, then you may think that, yeah, it is a threat, but that was a fiction, right? Because see, like, okay, do you guys know about Sophia, the humanoid robot? Yes. Many of you must know. And do you guys know about Shalu? Shalu. No, no, yes. Okay, those who are saying yes, can you tell me who is Shalu? My sister's home name. Yes, Indian humanoid robot. Let me see who replied. Ravindra Singh, I guess. Very good. It is the first humanoid robot. Okay, and let me tell you, it is developed by a CS teacher, computer science teacher. Okay, and we all say that technologically countries, the most technologically advanced countries are Japan, South Korea, Germany, but who are making those countries advanced? They're people, right? Exactly. And if you want your country to be technologically advanced, who is going to make it? Us, the youth, you guys, right? So please concentrate on the topics, okay, rather than saying that this was just a 1-hour workshop. Like I saw these comments yesterday. We told you we are going to just cover the basics, okay? Yes, there's a hotel full of robots. So guys, I guess you enjoyed it, and do not just keep it here and there, okay? Make notes, study, and because these are the future. The topics we are covering, they are really important for the future, right? We enjoyed, yes. So tomorrow's session is going to be really fun. Do join, and if you are able to make your friends join, then we are welcome. Okay, so I conclude the presentation here. Thank you guys, you can leave. Have a good day. Thank you. Yeah, had a great session. Thanks to you guys. Thank you.